This is the Farmer BackBeat. This is our latest incarnation of something we've been making for about 10 years now. And the new features are exciting because they allow for a lot of options. And those options are coming at 3 levers at the top of your hi-hat mast, and of course a new snare or percussion mount on the back side, as well as a cymbal mount somewhere located on that side. So let's take a look at what is up here. What we have now is a drumstick orientation. It allows you to add your drumstick. Of course, you can choose a jingle ring at the top, but in this case, we'll go ahead and add our hi-hats. So we have a little rubber stopper for the lower hat to not waggle so much. And put that down. If you want this hi-hat to have a little bit of a tilt in there, if you open up your tilt plate, and in here you'll see a little set screw, and you can put it up or down to allow your cymbal to be at a natural rest, at a tilt, so that when they clap together, if it's at a tilt, it'll have a little bit more of a crashier sound. Again, it's a standard clutch, so you just add your 2 felts around your hat, and again, connected to your left foot, you will be rising up and down with a nice little hit. Added on top of this is our first lever that I was alluding to, that has, of course, a strap that you would attach to the neck of your guitar, and of course is adjustable in length, so that when you hit it, you have a primary upward hit hitting the bottom of your hi-hats. Now, maybe you think that's a little too long of a throw to have. You have a spring right here that has 2 mounting options. And again, I am going to mount it on another little pulley back here, and now I'm a little bit closer to the hi-hat, so it's a little bit quicker of a hit. It's a nice feature to have, but the reason for this lever, I'm going to move it back to the other pulley, is so that we can have an addition of a snare on this far side. Lock it into the memory lock. Make sure everything is nice and tight. I'm going to adjust this stick outwards a little bit more. And now, again, my headstock of my guitar is hitting down and hitting the snare. So again, a really versatile lever that has plenty of opportunity to change. If for some reason that tension doesn't feel right, you can always loosen this drum key up, pull it down, and you have a tighter tension. Same with this pulley. If this pulley isn't in the direction of your particular comfort level for how you like to play it, you can swivel it from side to side. As well as swiveling this spring, you can see that this changes the direction or the at-rest position of this drumstick a little bit. So if you're looking for a fine touch, that's where you'll find that. Let's take a look at the second lever located on the other side of that first lever. I'm going to mount the drumstick the other direction, going backwards. And you'll find this drumstick is not going to be able to play anything if pulled downward. So I'm going to add our PDP cymbal mounting hardware. It's their concept series, and allows for any kind of crash or splash to be mounted up here to this other side. And it's mounted to our L rod and sold separately. Kind of build your own kit. So I have my 10-inch cymbal now, and to activate this drumstick coming down, we have a new feature of a right hand thumb or strum of your guitar to come down and in this case play or splash. The way you access this is, of course, it is a length adjustable. You can add your thumb to it, or you can add it to your wrist, and it's a nice accent on your downward stroke of your right strumming hand of your guitar. Now, what we really like about this, we learned from one of our farmer customers, Paolo in Italy. So he really liked to have what might be referred to in our shop as a 2-for-1. So I am going to have the downward stroke be the splash, I have my spring adjusted so that the back of the hit is going to play the snare. Downward on the crash, and on the back, you have your snare. So this middle lever is actually very dynamic. If you want to have it just play the splash, again, you just adjust how your spring is adjusted on the pulleys, and then you have an at-rest position that allows you to not have that backward hit. The backward hit, or the release on your right hand, allows, again, for that 2-for-1 hit. And it is something that you just have to kind of understand as another touch feature. It can make it harder, but it can also make it easier if you wanted to have a complicated sound, such as that dribbling kind of snare stutter on the back swing. It's kind of a nice little feature if you're really able to fit it into your music. So again, on the third lever, which is a new addition for this model, is something that is going to be a lot like the snare model, or snare drum. And that it's coming down and facing that direction. And it's coming down, in this case, through the bass drum and through a pulley. So that, in this case, you can now attach both of these to the neck of your guitar or banjo or what have you. And you can have it play, oops, these two. So going up and down on the neck of your guitar will allow you to have 2 snare hits. So you can really get some really interesting drum rolls, you can imagine. I actually can't imagine that. That would be a lot of work, but I think it would be really interesting sounds and possibilities for how these can be played. So again, in the same sense that the other drumsticks, you can go forward and back on your drumstick, and you can have a different set position for how everything is working to be at rest. And in this occasion, I'm going to loosen everything up, snap it on, bring it back down, and now that same stick that I just had, it can be playing the hi-hat. This pulley down here also allows you to reroute some things, such as your downward thumb or your guitar neck pull up. And you can reroute some of this stuff down here in your pulleys so that maybe you can do it on your right wing of your right hand, or you can maybe transfer that one over to this area as well. Other possibilities are connecting some of those levers to like a 2-for-1 hits. So you can imagine you can have 2 sticks going down on the same pole. That one might be really helpful if you have like a drumstick and a hi-hat. Well, if I had it set up as right, you'd kind of understand that one pull of your left foot could actually accentuate 2 different sounds at the same time. So there are lots of different options with this newer BackBeat, given too that this area is really wide open to accepting lots of instruments. Imagine that this being a cowbell. Imagine if you had your snare down here and your cowbell up here, that you could almost have a 2-for-1 back hit up on top of or underneath the cowbell and on top of your snare. So lots of different things to choose from on this newer BackBeat that we have come up with the 3-lever system and our more traditional bass drum and hi-hat lever.